Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Miss Rector. I will be your chemistry teacher this year. Um, so let's go over what chemistry is and how that's going to be for now versus when we're in the classroom. So first of all, we've got our chemistry syllabus here. Um, I'm in room 50 when you do get to come back, my planning period, second period. There's my email address, and here is my website. So if you ever click on here and go to my website, you'll find lesson plans on here. So, for example, here's advanced chemistry right here, lesson plans. And if you were to go through those, you could kind of see, well, I'll just hit play. You could see what we are going to be doing every day. There's links on those lesson plans to things too. This is just a place to go for information or to let your parents know if they're interested in finding out what we're doing in class. But everything you need will be on Google Classroom every day as well. So you don't need to worry too much about going to the lesson plans. That's more for, I put them on the board when we're in the classroom so you can see. So, what is chemistry? It is the study of everything. So, if you are doing anything, you're doing chemistry. It's the central science. So, no matter what field of science you're going to go into, you're going to take chemistry classes first and then go into biology or whatever it is from there because it studies everything. So, we're going to talk about atomic structure, electrons, periodic table, ionic and covalent bonding, nuclear chemistry, all kinds of fun things this year. Now, in my classroom, the main rule is respect. So this pretty much covers everything. If you're being respectful of the people around you and you're being respectful to your teacher and I'm being respectful to you, then everybody's happy and we'll all be successful. So what does that mean? It means come prepared. You know, when you're in class, you're going to need a notebook, a pen or a pencil, scientific calculator, your Chromebook charged and ready to go, and a good positive attitude. Now, when it comes to scientific calculators, let's take just a second here. There are lots of different ones out there. They are, they range in prices. I saw a pack of two for $12 the other day, I think at Costco. There were $8 ones at Target when I was in there. So, what are we looking for? Okay, all the scientific calculators, they do the same thing, but some of them have different buttons. So, here are some buttons to look for. The first button, this times 10 to the x button. That is a button you want for scientific calculations. Now, not all calculators have that button. They might have another button. So this one, for example, has EXP. That's the button that you're looking for there. Or sometimes there's two capital E's. See that button right there with two capital E's? Sometimes it's a shift button, so it's hard to see on this one, but the two capital E's is a shift button right there. So, in short, you're either going to find a calculator that has times 10 to the x, or EXP, or two capital E's, and that will take care of things for you. But a scientific calculator is a must. Now, you might say, well, what about my phone? Well, while we're on remote learning, I can't stop you from using your phone, obviously. But if we are in the classroom, then when it comes test time, you will not be able to use your phones. You will need a calculator. Can you do the calculations in your head, or not in your head, but on a regular four function calculator, like the dollar store kind of calculator? You can. It's just you got to be pretty good at math to do that. So, um,
Ronnie Bryson, please call 6300. Ronnie Bryson, 6300.
Sorry, I can't seem to make a screencast without them going on the intercom. So let's talk about Zoom rules. So online things are a little bit different, but still respect is the main goal. So if we are having a class meeting, you need to be on time to it. Try to find a quiet place in your house. If your house is like my house, that can be difficult, I know, but try your best so that you can focus. You can use headphones if you have trouble hearing because of distractions at home. Be ready, so make sure your tech is all working. Mute your mic, please. If you don't have your mic muted, then we get a lot of feedback. People hear me talking on your computer and it's going into your mic and it just gets confusing. So we're going to, have everybody muted except for the person who's talking. Participate, so stay focused, be an active participant. A lot of our meetings are going to be small group, so we will have a meeting on the first day that's whole group, everybody there. I won't spend a lot of time with you. It'll just be like, here's where things are. But weekly, we're going to have meetings. There might be some large group ones, maybe one in a week, but then you'll get, this is why it's important every single day, check your Google Classroom because it'll tell you what you need to do that day. And it might be different for some of you. So if I'm meeting with half of the class on Tuesday, then the other half is going to have a different assignment. And then on Wednesday, the other half is going to have a Zoom Meet button that they need to go to. So be really careful about checking your personal Google Classroom. Don't just, converse with your friends and say, oh, we got a meeting today. You might have a meeting, but they might not. So again, be respectful with your questions, comments, the little chat log thing there. And these are probably being recorded. So I may not record all of them, but you can always think to yourself, I might be being recorded right now. So again, rules for remote learning this semester, however long it lasts this semester, maybe the whole year, who knows. But be sure that you are being respectful when we are having these class meetings. So, I also want to let you know chemistry can be challenging. It is maybe the first time that some of you are going to be challenged. Some of you have maybe made it through your entire high school career without having to put too much effort in. And then suddenly, this class, you're like, wait, what's going on? I don't understand. But then it comes easy to some people and others it challenges. And it can be different at different times of the year. Some of you will think the first semester is so super easy, and then you start slacking off a little bit, and suddenly second semester you're like, I don't know what's going on. So just stay with us. The way to succeed in chemistry is to stay with the class. Don't fall behind. Get tutoring if you need it. So I'm available. We're going to have small group sessions in Zoom when we're in school. I'm here before and after school, and as long as I don't have some conflicting meeting, I would be happy to meet with you. Take advantage of things like YouTube. They have tons of videos. If you're tired of listening to my voice, you can go find somebody else on YouTube to explain you stuff too. And I'll try to put links and things in as well. Now, the biggest thing, do your own work. Don't copy off of other people. It seems like a great idea at first. And all the stuff we're doing online, you might say, well, I can just Google all this. But you're not learning it. So come test day, you won't be able to do what we have taught. Come finals time, you won't be able to do the stuff that we've taught. So it is really important that you do your own work, because if I see all of your work is good, then I think you don't have any problems. And suddenly at the end of the semester, you're like, I don't know how to do anything. I'm like, well, that's weird because you've turned in all your assignments and everything looked good. So please, I know it's tempting, but don't just Google everything. You can use Google as a resource, and find out if you're right on questions, but do your own work and you'll be good. Late work policy, of course, normally it's 10% off for late work. Uh, Things are a little different on NTI. So as far as remote learning goes, I'm pretty much, different people in the class might get assignments on different days because of how we meet. So it's going to be a little flexible, but everything should be done by the end of the week. So although you might get an assignment on Tuesday while your friend got it on Wednesday, it's all going to be due by the end of the week. And there's probably going to be a weekly assessment of some kind on, I'm thinking Thursday of each week. And then Fridays at this point are going to be days where I invite people to meetings based on if you're missing work or if you didn't do well on the assessments and you might need some one-on-one help. So, on the other hand, if you have completed all your assignments and you've done well on everything, Friday might become kind of a free day for you. So, at least that's the way I'm looking at it now. Now, of course, all of this could change because everything is changeable right now. It's very frustrating, I understand. So, late work and grades, I really try to reward people for turning things in on time. So, when we're in the classroom, if you don't have any late work, you get stamps. Stamps count as points on your final exams. I'm not sure if I can really do that with remote learning. I don't know how things are going to go, but I'm still going to keep track of it. I'm going to give you PBIS points for having your work in on time every week, and as well as being on time for meetings and things like that. So they are doing PBIS. As I understand it, you're going to take all your points at the end of the month and cash them in, and there'll be some kind of raffle, I think. Don't quote me on that. Let's talk about your grades. Okay, so test, 40% of your grade. That's the biggest chunk. Tests on remote learning could look very different. It could be, more of a project-based thing. Homeworks, 15%. Labs, well, we're going to talk about that here in a minute. They're generally 15% of your grade, and I'm going to try to have labs for you even at home. So we're going to see how that works. Your notes are 10% of your grade. We're going to talk about that as well, as your notebooks might be digital, or you might have a hard copy that you just take pictures of and send in to me. That would be different ways to do it. Zoom meetings are kind of your classwork. So you're showing up to your Zoom meetings, that's 10% of your grade right there. Every day, starting on the 31st, we're going to have bell work form every single day. It'll be in your Google Classroom. You just answer a quick question, and that's 10% of your grade. So if you look at this and break it down, you'd see 20% of your grade is like just showing up and doing stuff. So Zoom meetings, daily bell work, 20% of your grade banked just for showing up and being there and doing it. On the other hand, you could get 100% on your test, homework, labs, notes. But if you're not doing these things, even with 100% on every piece of work you turned in, your best grade's an 80. So let's see. First semester, there's your total grade. Of course, you got quarter one, quarter two, and the final exam. Yes, they say there will be final exams, even if we're on remote learning the whole time. Cheating and plagiarism, 0 on those assignments. So please don't just, and I know things are so easy to just copy and paste, especially when we do things digitally, but the Google Classroom has some tools that flag it if it's been copied and pasted. So please don't. I don't want to have to give you zeros. Please just do your own work. Food and drinks. In the classroom, they're not allowed. Hey, but if you're at home, you go for it. Whatever you do, you. School policy, of course, that doesn't really apply to us right now. Electronic devices, obviously, you're going to have your Chromebook. When we're in class, you won't have your phones or anything out, but I would encourage you to really put your phone away in the time that you're at home working. And that is because your phone is just a little time vampire. We all know that whatever you're working on, if your phone buzzes because somebody's texting you, you're going to want to look at that. And it's going to distract you, and then it's going to take you time to get back to where you were. So, although I can't control what you're doing at home, just on a personal note, I know in the spring when we did NTI, my phone going off next to me all the time, and I didn't have a class, I could look at it. My family and my friends were more distracting and kept me from being able to get work done. I had to just put it off, turn it off. I'm like, I'll check texts when I eat lunch. Okay, so let's talk about lab. Lab, if we're in class, you have to have 100% on your lab safety test because you have to be safe 100% of the time. You have to come to class prepared and ready to do the lab. follow the directions, and we have a lot of lab safety rules and things that we go over before we do any labs in class. Now, what's lab look like on remote learning? So I am going to try to ask you to do some experiments at home. This might require that you get some inexpensive materials. So I might say, "Oh, you're going to need an onion next week. Get an onion, or some M&Ms, or some vinegar and baking soda, or something like that." So they might be things that you should have around your house, or that are easy to get. Um, you're going to have to follow any safety protocols, and you might need to be done under adult supervision, because you should never work alone in any lab, even though some of these won't be that bad. I don't know how you all are cooking or using your stove and things like that, but if your parents don't trust you in the kitchen, you might need to have somebody around. So if you're unable to do these labs, then I'm going to have some sort of alternative assignment for you to do instead. So if you couldn't get the materials and you can't do it, then I'll come up with some alternative for you as well. Um, Materials for class. So pens, pencils, folders, notebook. So I really, and I could tell you why handwritten notes are better. There have been studies done that when you kids in college, okay, so they gave half the class let them type up their notes, half the class let them write them out by hand and see who does better on the test. The ones that do better on the test are the ones that write their notes out by hand, because you do not want to write every single word. It's hard. It takes time. So what you do is you look at what it says, you take it in your brain, and you say, how can I say that shorter? What is it really saying? That is you learning something right there. That's you processing that information and making it make sense to you. So taking notes by hand is what I would make you do if we were in the classroom. But since we're not in the classroom, and you're going to have to submit things digitally, I understand taking pictures of every page in your notebook is going to be a pain in the butt. But so I'm going to offer you a digital notebook option. So a digital notebook would look like this. I have an example in here for me. So here's Miss Rector's advanced chemistry notes. It's just a Google slide, and you can add as many pages to it as you want. It's kind of organized, so you've got each chapter. So here, let's say, is chapter one. Chapter one's got some notes in it. I add as many pages as I need, and then there's chapter two. So if you're in present mode, you can just click on the little tab on the side, and it'll take you to whatever chapter you need. Of course, things are going slow when you're recording. Well, I'm just going to go back. You can play with that later. So, let's get back to the syllabus. Oh, that's calculators. Too many things open. That's lesson plans. So in case you didn't see, my lesson plans look like this every day. There's the bell ringer that you're going to have. Here's our agenda for the day. Now see how group B is meeting here, but then the screencast, another thing for other people. There we go. All right, so scientific calculators we already talked about. Pack of note cards, of course, a Chromebook. Oh, down there at the bottom, class fee of $15. Let's talk about that too. If we were starting class, $15 goes for me to buy lab equipment and lab supplies for all the labs that we do. Now, you're going to be asked to buy some things at home. So if whenever we do come back to class, I might ask for a prorated amount of that $15. So let's say we spend the whole first semester at home and then we come back second semester. Then I might say, well, we need $7.50, just half the year, so half the amount. But that helps us buy the chemicals and things we use in the lab. So just put that in there. Class fee $15. Here's the normal sign-off sheet that we would have if we were in class, where I'd give you a paper copy of this. But what I'd like you to do is make sure your parents are aware of everything in this, have them look it over, and then go and fill out this Google form where it will ask you, if you understand all the stuff in the syllabus, your first, last name, class period, you understand this and this and this from the syllabus. When your parent puts their name here, that's their signature. I'd like them to give me an email, and I will use that to give them a guardian invite to your classroom. That way they won't get all your assignments, but they can keep up with what's going on. And then parent or guardian phone number there too. So that is your first homework assignment. That's a really easy homework, right? Just get your parents to do this. And once that's submitted, you have 100% on your homework assignment. Fantastic. So that's all I have for now. I will see you guys in our next Zoom meeting. Have a good day.